Welcome to another day in my life working in a test kitchen in New York City. Last night I actually made some semla buns at home, and the best thing about working in a test kitchen or an office where people love food is that you can judgment-free bring leftovers to work. After putting those together, I got started on a donut dough, and it was a little bit on the loose side, but you can see here it's a totally fine dough to actually work with. While I set that aside to rise, I got started on a devil's food cake, and what I was having a hard time with was making sure I got the ratio right for 3-layer cakes, not just 2. So at this point, I realized I had only tripled some of the ingredients, and then I had to go back and mix in some of the other ingredients to then mix into the other batter. It's kind of confusing, but I think that ultimately kind of ruined the recipe. You'll see why later. Then for lunch, Noah made family meal. He made this delicious truffle linguine with mushrooms. It was amazing. At that point, the day was starting to get away from me, and I realized my dough was starting to become overproof. So I split it in half so I could test 2 recipes, and then I started making all these little donut holes. And while those did their second proof, although they really didn't need a lot more proofing, I started working on the second half of the dough, which in my head was going to be this giant semla braid. But for some reason, I had this brain freeze, and I could not figure out how to braid a regular basic 3-strand braid. Then, mainly because I didn't have time to bake it off, I just put it in the fridge for the next day. Then I got started on frying the donut holes. The hard thing about frying balls is that they want to flip over, so it's kind of hard to get an even browning on both sides. But my inspiration for this recipe was beignets. I'm actually drinking fake coffee here, don't tell anyone. But I wanted it to kind of resemble a croquembouche, and I'm going to call it a beignet bouche. Shout out to the person who DM'd me that idea. I don't have enough time to explain, but basically the cakes were super dry, and I definitely have to test again.